Hello, CFA Nation, Gabe.
And a very happy Nick.
Of course he is. And we are here today to bring you another installment of R3 Wickets. Oh, my man Nick, look. Oh, he got that, got the swag back with it. Nick, so excited to talk about this match. I think we learned so much about this match in general, as far as this series is concerned, from both the English team and the Australian team, to be honest. And I learned some things I did not know. One of the as much as we're going to talk about India here, because it was an unbelievable performance, I think you're probably, if not the biggest, one of the biggest. Maybe his wife, maybe his mom. Okay, but I don't know another guy who's as big a Chris Wokes fan or apologist as you are. You scream off the mountaintops how great this guy is, and he was arguably their best bowler in the series. He was, guy put up a 50 immediately off of the shelf.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? I never held him in as high regard as you did, but I think you're right. He's probably the most underrated English player, because most of the English fans are like, oh, he's only good at home. Well, I've seen him perform in the IPL. I've seen him perform in the UAE. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've seen this guy perform several places, and even if it's at home, he's still performing. There's guys on that English team that don't perform at home. So he deserves a lot more love than he gets. Maybe it's not as much as love as Nick gives him, because you got an unhealthy love. I'm telling you, man.
It's all fun and games.
Man, brother, I'm going to give the floor to you. Thoughts on this match?
I'll get to Chris Wokes in a little bit, because, there's always time for Chris Wokes. But that sounded bad. But I'm super excited because this was an exciting match. No joke about it. This match had just about everything you can have in it. And even if India ended up losing this match, I would still say this was an exciting match, because it was. We saw some amazing cricket. We saw some serious fight in these players. And what they put on for us for 5 days, I thought there's no way it was going 5 days of the first 2 days. But these guys fought both sides. Beautiful cricket. You can't be a fan of cricket and not love this match. Whether it was just a few of the days, I think every day was exciting. And there's so many different places to start. But let me start off with this. Brilliant captaincy by Virat Kohli. I have really been critical of Virat Kohli's captaincy in the past. I've even called for him to not be the captain a few times. But man, he had a beautiful captaincy. And I'm talking about just the selection. Nobody thought Ashwin would not be on the squad. I'm not going to say Ashwin would have caused him to lose, but he went with Yadav. He went with Thakur, right? He kept with Jadeja in there, and he kept Rahul in there. And this team really answered. Remember, match 3, they got destroyed. They got slogged out. They lost by an innings. And you think like you're gonna fix it with Yadav and Thakur? Really? Oh yeah, he fixed it with those guys. The other guys stepped up. The other guys showed up. And it was absolutely amazing. And let me just start off right now with saying there's only one guy on both sides that had a half century in both their innings. One guy. You know what that one guy was on both sides?
Oh, I know without a doubt, bro.
Shardul Thakur. This guy had a half century in both innings. Joe Root didn't do that. Virat Kohli was 6 away from doing that. Roy Burns didn't do it. Shardul Thakur. I mean, so much amazing different things in here. And I'm going to plug right here. The guys even know it, but check out Jared Kimber's little short video on Shardul Thakur and his batting. He really analyzes it really well. But let's go ahead and jump right into this, Gabe. I'm going to let you start wherever you want, my friend. Wherever you want.
So I want to start with what I hated, okay? Remember, I got to start with what I hated, okay? And I'm going to primarily talk about the English side. You can talk about, obviously, the Indian side. But a couple things just dumbfound me. I'm confused, okay? So over the last 2 matches, all right, England with their bowling has dominated, okay? Dominated. And they've been really good. And even, again, Chris Wokes, which we'll talk about him later, bowled very, very well. In that first inning when India got out for 191, Nick, 191, and mind you, that was after They could have been out at 130, 140 if it wasn't for your boy the Kerr putting up those 57 runs, which I'm sure you'll talk about later. But James Robinson goes out, 290 economy rate, gives you a wicket, okay? Chris Wokes, we'll talk about the beauty that he was, 4 wickets in that inning. Robinson got himself 3 wickets, and Overton got himself a wicket. No one had an economy rate over 4. As a matter of fact, Chris Wokes was the highest at 370. Now, what name did you not hear there in that first innings?
From the bowlers?
Yeah, I'll repeat myself. Jimmy Anderson, Robinson, Chris Wokes, Overton.
Oh, there's no Moeen Ali.
Why did Moeen Ali in the second innings? I mean, why? Bro, he got pumped. He feels dirty right now. He feels like a streetwalker. 26 overs, 118 runs, 450 economy rate, bro. He got himself 2 wickets, one which he got lucky on, bro. But I don't understand. Yet Overton, who dominated for you and still was good, only had a 3 economy rate, only gets 18 overs. Was he tired? Did he get injured? Somebody tell me, because I do not understand this, Nick. And it is a frustrating situation. It's an absolutely frustrating situation.
You're wondering why Moeen Ali didn't bowl in the first innings? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
They didn't need him.
That's my point. Why did he bowl in the second innings? Why did you only give Overton 18 overs and give Moeen Ali 26 when Overton more than proved in that first inning that he could bowl, he could take wickets, and he could keep the run rate down? Somebody explain. In the comments, okay? I'm so frustrated with that. As far as the batting is concerned, I'm gonna tell you right now what I hated. All right, for me, and this is one of those things where I'm like, so Rory Burns has earned his spot as much as I've dogged him first innings, right? He goes down for 5, dude. He literally, if it could have been much worse for England if yesterday they don't bat through the day. We're talking about England at the end of the day, all right? And he ended up getting a 50 in this inning. So he's earned his spot. Hamid went down for a duck in the first inning. It is what it is, but he redeemed himself with 60, I believe, in the second inning. But who am I going to talk about right now? And it's always frustrating when I talk about this guy because I'm like, gosh, he's so talented, but he throws his wicket away. And we're talking about Johnny Bairstow, all right? Johnny Bairstow got LBW'd in that first inning by Siraj. And I'm like, what were you doing? And then he just got, he got decimated in the second inning, threw away his wicket, and that's why Bairstow frustrates me. Maybe it's different if Bairstow goes out there and sees more than 4 balls. 4 balls.
That
all right.
4th ball was amazing.
He got bowled out. All right. So LBW in the first inning, bowled out here. It wasn't like it was an edge, Nick. It was just poor.
It was a beautiful ball.
He was out there trying to play T20, trying to get 50 runs off of one swing, as opposed to building those innings and eating up the runs. At that point, where you're Bairstow, you should say, okay, this ain't looking good. We need to eat up some overs because we could at least get a draw. I should be trying to see as many balls as possible. I do not understand, and this is what drives me crazy because we know the talent is there, Nick. We know the talent is there with Johnny Bairstow, but man, he throws away his wicket. Don't tell me that Overton can see 29 balls and get 10 runs, and Johnny Bairstow saw 4. Don't tell me that Ali Robinson can see 32 balls and Bairstow saw 10. Jimmy Anderson saw 5 balls, Nick. Jimmy Anderson. I don't understand. Bairstow's one of the most undisciplined players they are, and I absolutely hated that. It frustrates me to no end. Nick, what did you not like?
Well, let me just get to that. I keep saying that was a beautiful ball by Boomer, and it was like, I think it was a Yorker with reverse swing. You saw Bairstow's face after he got dismissed. He was ticked because he's just like, really? Like, he felt like I feel all the time. Really, when I'm up here, you throw the greatest ball of the match? Really, when I'm up here?
Speaking of which, England lost their composure. And England fans, go back and watch this. Yesterday, I'm watching this, and I wasn't online, but I'm watching this where I'm like, okay, India put up a huge run total. We expected a wicket or two to fall. Not one. Those boys went out there and batted. We're talking about Burns and is it Haji? I can't pronounce his name.
Hamid.
All right. They batted. Today, they both got 50s. Burn, 50.
I know.
Dismissed
Crazy.
on the next ball, Nick. Dismissed on the next ball. And you really think about it, I'm like, it was 100, no out. All they had to do was be disciplined. And I think that's where the discipline started going. All right. It was frustrating. Then Milan, who I love, I love David Milan. You know it. Again, undisciplined. And I'm like thinking to myself, he gets dismissed by that ball, by that play. I thought it was Jadeja, honestly. I didn't know Mayank Agarwal had that in him. I'm going back and watching the reviews, and I'm like, Mayank Agarwal, how dare you steal Jadeja's move, bro? That was a beautiful play. Milan, you're chasing like 300 plus runs. At this point, they're still chasing 200 something runs. No, you don't need to take the extra run there. What are you doing? It was bad discipline. And I think once those wickets started falling, everybody tried to be Rocky and did too much, okay? Another thing I hated, and I'm glad you reminded me, the umpires. God, umpires suck. I tell you, Nick, it drives me crazy. They do. Explain to me the Jadeja Milan LBW. How was that not LBW? He didn't even make an attempt to play for the ball. Go back and watch that review, bro. He stuck his leg out. Even the announcers were like, how is that not LBW? It was insane to me. I hate umpires with a passion. Gosh, bro. We just replace them with robot umpires. Replace them with robot umpires because I'm done with these guys. Terrible umpiring. Gosh. And that's not, by the way, that's not the reason England lost. It was their discipline that England lost. I'm not making excuses about the umpiring. In this case, that actually ended up helping England. But it was still, I'm watching this and I'm like, Milan got a second chance at life. Because how is that not LBW, bro?
My man is angry right now. He needs to watch some replays of TKR's season last year to give him some comfort or something. I mean, oh my goodness gracious. It was a complete team win by India. You mentioned Mayank Agarwal. Your boy Sky was out there as a sub too. He got a catch to get a wicket too. So I mean, everyone contributed. What I not like from the Indian side, I mean, it's very obvious. Rahane, right? Rahane and Siraj are the two things I did not like because everyone else contributed. Everybody else contributed. Rahane's high score for the match was 14. If I'm not mistaken. 14 on 47 balls. He got a boundary. And then he went down for a duck. He was the only duck of the India's second innings. So they got 466. He wasn't able to contribute to any of it. LBW by Chris Wokes. Rahane's struggling. And it's been a while now. Ever since he led India to that win in Australia, he's been struggling immensely. And it's unfortunate. The only good news is that they were able to win this match without really needing Rahane. He even had a bad misfield also in day 5. So I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know what's going on, but he's to get himself right as the vice captain. And then Siraj, you guys know I love Siraj so much. He had high economy rates in both innings. As far as the other guys are concerned, he got one wicket.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as the Indian bowlers are concerned, Moeen Ali is like, I wish I could have had a 3 economy rate. What are you kidding me? He's jealous right now. Are you serious right now?
Hey, you want you like keep a lid on it for just for a few minutes here. Siraj, he was not able to do much on this flat pitch. He was not able to do much. And that's why I was so surprised about day 5 is I thought, okay, this pitch is going to get even flatter. There's not really turning whatsoever. So either it's going to turn and Jadeja's going to have to get like 10 wickets or they're struggling, but they were able to produce wickets. I was so amazed. 10 wickets in the final day in day 5. It was a complete team win when there wasn't one guy that just did everything himself. Everyone helped out besides Rahane and Siraj, but I'm really not too upset because the way they bounced back from match 3 in England, flat pitch, They have Jadeja, and there's a lone spinner. The other Pacers weren't able to get too much going on in the first innings. It was absolutely remarkable what happened. So that's all that I disliked. Let's go ahead. I'm going to jump in here because I know Gabe's going to take another 25 minutes. I'm going to jump in here and talk about what I liked because, man, there was so much like I mentioned already, team effort by India. Absolute team effort. Rohit, 127. He gets another century. He's ranked number 5 in the entire world right now in Test. This guy's a beast. And I remember having a conversation with someone on one of the streams about Rohit versus Kohli. I don't want to put those two guys against each other because I want both of them on the squad. But Rohit definitely is in some kind of form right now. And it's unbelievable because he was unfit just a few months ago last year. So 127, him and Raul really got that 466 second innings going by what they did together as an opening partnership. And then you followed that with Pujara's 61, Kohli's 44, Pont's 50, and then a man we'll get to in a second with his 60, and then the tail ender showed up. 466 in England against that pace attack, against those guys that took them 78 all out just the match previous. Absolutely phenomenal show. I absolutely love seeing it. And as I kept watching the highlights or seeing the score in Crick Buzz, no matter where I was, it was just phenomenal to see what they were able to do. What else did I love? I love myself some Umesh Yadav. I did not want this guy on the side. I was ready to be so critical like Gabe was, but man, was I wrong. He led India both innings with the highest wicket total, 3 on both sides. We got 6 total. This guy was a little expensive. I'm not going to lie. He's a little expensive. Not the Moeen Ali territory, but a little expensive. But Umesh Yadav was able to make things happen, and he just seemed confident. He seemed jovial. He seemed like he was happy. He was like a kid out there playing in the yard. He was such a breath of fresh air, but not as much of a breath of fresh air as our man Shardul Thakur was. This guy was an animal. This guy's going to challenge Don Bradman this year for the highest average in Test with 99. This guy's absolutely unbelievable. He's got 3 half centuries in 3 Test matches. That's all he's played his entire career, and he just makes it happen. He got 2 in this match. Fastest half century on English soil in Test. Fastest ever by Shardul Thakur. This guy, and to your point, they were like 120 in that first innings, and I'm thinking like, well, at least they didn't get 78 all out. They were going on their way to 130 all out, but this guy stepped up, and this guy just attacked. For some reason, he was on a different planet. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and attack. I'm going to attack and attack and attack, and man, did he attack with his 57, and then he followed up with a 60 in the second innings. It's just, I can't stop gushing about all the amazing positives. Pont was able to calm down for himself and be able to have a good partnership with Thakur in the second innings. I mentioned that in my video yesterday. Kohli almost had 2 half centuries. Kohli's in some kind of form. He's really getting close to getting that cracking that maiden 100 for this season and then setting himself up. This team, who just got decimated in the third match, really bounced back, really showed up. And yes, they're playing a depleted English squad, but it's still in England, and they were able to get things done. There's so much more that I loved. Bumrah today, oh my gosh, Bumrah was absolutely unbelievable. He had 2 wickets, but it seemed like he had 45 because he was just getting that reverse swing action. That ball against Bairstow, holy cow. Like you said, Mayank Agarwal, Milan was so with his pants down that there was time for Agarwal to throw it, Pont to catch it, and hit the bells before he got there.
Right.
Absolutely, so much that I loved.
You know what's funny? I think Boomer had the 2 best balls of the whole match. Because even the ball he used to clean ball Ali Pope, bro. Did you see Ali Pope had no chance. And Ali Pope's a good batsman. He's showing you that before.
He's coming off an 80 from the first inning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And bro, that ball bounced. And then the amount of turn or swing it had in. Ali Pope swung and it got between his bat where he was, trying to defend or, punch it the other way. It was such a wow. I cannot even get mad about those balls, man. Like, yes, the Bairstow ball, I think that Bairstow might have been a little, I don't know, too I don't know, lackadaisical there. But if you're Ali Pope, go back and watch that ball. What do you do? What do you do? I mean, there was nothing he could do with that ball. That was just unplayable. That was tough, man. With that being said, what did I like on the English side? All right. First and foremost, I've been not critical, but I have not been in agreement with you that Chris Wokes is this unbelievable player. I actually give you a lot of flack for it, okay? And you've literally gotten up there on that hill, and you're gonna die on that hill. Oh, he's underrated. He's one of the best. I'm like, really, man? Chris Wokes dude. This guy is probably the second most important all-rounder next to Ben Stokes on the English side, okay? And honestly, once Ben Stokes is back, they both need to play together because they can carry you with their bat and they can carry you with their arms. Okay, Ben Stokes is a huge loss right now for England, but we've talked about this before. Mental health is such an important thing. We respect them. But Chris Wokes, Nick, got himself a 50 burger, whole lat cousin, half century. He got himself 7 wickets, right? 4 in the first, and I'm going to say it was 3 in the second, if I'm correct there. Yep. I mean, this guy was probably England's best player in this match, and it's his first match back. I cannot say enough good things about Chris Wokes. And you're right. I was wrong. You love it when I eat crow. Let me eat some crow right now. I was wrong. He is one of England's best players, okay? Especially as an all-rounder. Another guy, Hamid. It would have been easy for Hamid after that first inning where he got dismissed on a duck by another beautiful ball by Boomerang, by the way, right? To just say, okay, I'm done. He could have gone into a shell of himself. And then, okay, next match, here goes Don Sibley. But no. He came out in the second innings after a 466 performance or whatever it was from India and said, I could do that too. And my man gave us 63 in that second inning on 193 balls. He's the only reason England even had any life. He was the second highest performer.
Didn't those openers do exactly what you needed to when you're chasing that big score?
Absolutely. They both gave you a half century, and they lasted through that end of the fourth day. They got you into day 5. Even if you don't win, you're still saying we can go out with 10 wickets and we can at least get a draw. But no one else got the plan. And I already talked about that earlier, so I'm not going to harp too much on that. Okay. Ollie Robinson, Nick, he's not a flash in the pan. All right. He is not a flash in the pan. And I know that eventually, or maybe not, because I'm hearing bad things. But once England had back a Mark Wood, he's always injured, but more importantly, Jofra Archer, I'm hearing bad things about that elbow and that arm injury. He may not come back, and if he does, he may not be the same guy. But Ollie Robinson's a legit bowler, bro. He's a legit bowler. This is now 2 matches back-to-back where he's getting wickets. He's been the second highest, I think, wicket taker so far. And Jimmy Anderson, of course, dominated in that first match. He got himself 1 wicket in this match. As well, Chris Wokes got all 7 in this match. He didn't play in the last match, but Ollie Robinson, I think, needs to be a mainstay. So I really, really liked his performance. I think that England has to look at it this way. I'm not even going to say Jofra Archer, man, because like I said, the stuff I'm hearing is not good. So, but you will have Stokes back. He's not injury. His is a mental health thing. Then eventually you're going to get back Wood, probably the next match, right? So are they depleted? Yes. I don't expect to see Sibley back. And at least the opening pair of Rory Burns and Hamid, I think needs to be a mainstay. Then you got Milan at 3, or Joe Root at 4. And then at 5, that's where you would put in a Ben Stokes. You know what I'm saying? At 6, probably a Bear Stokes because his bat is still serious. I think, honestly, I'm still, as an Australia fan, concerned about this English team, when it comes to the Ashes. But we'll see. We need some health, and we need one of 2 guys back. We either need Mark Wood to be healthy and be able to bowl every game, or we need Jofra Archer back because Jimmy Anderson can't do it by himself. And of course, Robinson isn't that guy yet where he's going to be a Jofra Archer. Okay. Wood, he's got the most pace on the English test team, bro, but he just cannot stay healthy. I don't think I've ever seen him play back-to-back tests. It's insane. It's insane with this guy. IPL, did he get hurt too, Nick, like the first game? And everybody was like, oh, we expected this. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious? Gone immediately. Like, the guy cannot stay healthy. We're going to nickname him Mr. Glass because my man cannot stay healthy.
Are you saying that he would be a healthy scratch? Is that what you're saying?
Man.
So one thing I failed to mention, Rohit Sharma man of the match. I think it probably should have been Shardul Thakur, but I'll take Rohit Sharma with that century. Absolutely. All right, you had a lot of good points there, and there was something I was going to say, but I was so worried about my Wood joke that I forgot what I was going to say to your as a rebuttal. So I'm going to keep going on to what I learned. Now, I'm going to keep this capsulated to this one match. I'm not going to make it too broad. But I learned a lot about Kohli's captaincy. And I already mentioned about the team selection, the players he brought in. I would love to know what he was thinking about Yadav and Thakur. I don't think it was Thakur's bat. I want to know what he was thinking. But one thing that also was amazing, not just his field placement too, but his decision to not take the no ball. And I'm assuming that was his decision. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. Not to take the no ball, because when they didn't take the no ball, they still had that beat up ball.
The new ball.
Yeah, what did I say?
No ball.
No ball? The new ball. Hey,
Yeah.
I got a little accent, I guess. Who knows? The new ball. Because Thakur, when he got out root, and it was so beat up, whatever it was, it just had enough movement on it where Root kind of missed it, and then he hit it off to the stumps and got him out. And that, as you know, is the biggest wicket on the side. And part of that was by not taking that new ball. So Kohli made some amazing decisions today. And after what I saw in the WTC in England, I was like, oh, no, he should not be captaining India in England. He has made some great strides in this series, and I'm glad to see that. I'm happy to see that. I'm interested to see if he makes any changes for the next match. Part of me wants to say don't make any changes. Part of me wants to see Ashwin. He's fresh. I mean, he's absolutely fresh. This is the 5th match in this test series. He's absolutely fresh. And that's what I learned. I learned so much more about Thakur and his batting style. Obviously, Chris Wokes, I mean, I don't need to speak too much about it because he does what I expect him to do day in and day out. The guy can't, I'm going to hear it, he can't bowl outside of England. Whatever you want to say. I think he can, but that's okay. But the last thing I want to say is you're talking about the Ashes with Australia and England. It's in Australia. So I really don't think you have much to be worried about. I don't think it's going to be a whitewash, but I think Australia is going to have their way. But Gabe, what did you learn?
I think what I learned, 2 things I learned here. Okay. First and foremost, you can play spinners in England, okay, because on day 5, and I get it, the pitch is turning, but you got to get to day 5. All right. Today's most dominant performance was Jadeja, right? Bowling. And
he was fantastic. Yes.
He was fantastic. And even as pedestrian, and I got to say this again, pedestrian as Moeen Ali was, he got 2 wickets. I'm just saying. Oh, he's not finished with 6 yet, but
you were loving him in the IPL, but not in Test.
I love him again in the IPL. But as pedestrian as he was, he still got 2 wickets. So I still stand by my original comment that I think Ashwin can play on this. They got to find a way, guy. Come on, Nick, 400 wickets. 400 test wickets. You can't make it up. The guy's got multiple centuries. He's not a slouch with the bat. But the one thing I learned is that, and I actually got this from CFA Nation during the match, England's got to win day 1. They've got to win day 1. Okay, whether they're batting or bowling, they've got to win day 1. Because England, whether it's the bat or the bowl, dominates day 1, and then India dominates day 5. But if England goes out, let's say, and puts up a huge score like they did 2 matches ago in that first day, now it puts India behind the 8 ball and they're chasing and the pressure mounts, or vice versa. India they go out with the ball and get wickets on day 1. Then India goes out for 78 all out. It puts England in a bad position. But if you let India get to day 5, you're done, cousin. I don't know what it is. You're done. That's Australia. You're done, cousin. Australia had them out 36 all out in one of the. And again, it's like India gets stronger as the game goes on, as the days goes on, as you know what I mean. The series goes on. So England has to. They gotta pray they win the toss the next time so that they can go out there and set a big score that first innings. Because if they don't, bro, it's good night. It's good night. And I think that's such an interesting thing that, and we've seen this, right? Because the pitches tend to turn more on day 5. And England struggles with it. They cannot bat in England. Many of them can't. They can't handle the spin, right? They can't handle the turn. So it's like, it's amazing to me. We saw what happened in England when they were in India. They cannot handle that spin. They cannot handle that turn. So all India got to do is say, guys, let's get to day 5. Let's get to day 5. You know what I mean? If we're here till day 5, I know we can draw. I know we can rake. We're going to put up some big runs because these guys can't do it on this pitch. And it's an interesting phenomenon.
Absolutely. Last thing I also learned is I'm such a negative person. I thought England had a chance to win this when they were down by so many runs. So I definitely learned about that too. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what your thoughts are. This has been our first Arthur Wickets, and we don't know how long, so it's good to get back in the saddle again with the original segment that we started. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts, and until next time.
That's 6 runs.